happy Saturday. I am back down in the sewing room. I haven't switched everything over as yet. The sewing table is in the corner there with all of my projects on it. I did have enough of the chiffon-y fabric to cut out an Evelyn blouse, so I did that last night. I got the 7977 dress cut out and then the Evelyn blouse. Got the Gertie shirt, the 9345 Dolce & Gabbana banana leaf dress. There's something else in there. What else? Oh yeah, the 6563 top. Is that it? I think that's it, yeah. Not sure what I'm going to start with. Maybe the Evelyn blouse. I am excited to see how that comes out because I really want to cut out that silk. I'm going to switch the room around and start some sewing, which is very exciting. Oh, thank you for the compliments on my coat. A whole bunch of you were saying that I should try and add to the sleeves, like a panel to the underarms to make the sleeves bigger. That's the extent of the wool that I have left, and none of them, these bits, are big enough to add a full panel, and I don't want to piece it. I also really don't want to try unpicking the sleeves from this wool because it's really spongy and like so what I was thinking is that I might go in, having said that I don't want to unpick, I might go in and reduce the seam allowance on the sleeve seam to 1/4 of an inch and then press that open. That would give me an extra 3/4 of an inch in each sleeve. So I might do that, but I probably won't because it's perfectly wearable as is. I'm just aware that, you know, I can't get bulky cardigans underneath of it. I could get this cardigan underneath of it, but then it was tight. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll go in and do that. Maybe I will. But that would be my solution. So from the underarm, leave it as the 5/8 of an inch and then taper it so it's 1/4 of an inch seam allowance for the majority of the sleeve, because it's kind of this area that's tight, and then taper it back down because I've done top stitching and stuff as well that I don't want to disturb on those sleeves. But unpicking the entirety of the sleeves and adding a panel in is not an option because I just don't have the fabric. And even if I did have the fabric, I'm lazy. You know I hate alterations. And it's not if it wasn't wearable, if the sleeves were way too tight, then I would definitely try and rectify it, but it's totally wearable as is, so the likelihood of that happening is pretty slim. Right, so I'm going to put the room back into sewing mode and get on with some actual sewing. Hey peeps, happy Sunday. I have nearly finished the 7977 dress. I'm not sure. I haven't hemmed anything. I was going to do a narrow rolled hem on my overlocker on the edge of the frill, the sleeves and the hem, and then there's going to be like shearing elastic to give cuffs to these sleeves. The tops of the sleeves are way too tight. They are uncomfortably tight, but I'm pleased with how it's come out. I tried something to like with I French seam this the wrong way around so that the seam would be on the outside so that it would ruffle up, as I've seen some other things that I really like with that detail on it, but I don't like how it looks, so I wouldn't do that if I made this again. And I would wear this with a belt so that it was a bit more cinched in at the waist. I think I kind of like the ruffles around the top. This fabric has been an absolute nightmare to work with. It's been horrible to work with, really horrible to work with, to the point where it's pretty, but I don't think I'd ever wear it. It's polyester. I've got to the point where I don't want to finish this because I just dislike this fabric so much, which is a shame because it's taken me quite a lot of work to get to this point. But I think what I would do is I would steal the sleeves from the McCalls 7537 because those sleeves are very similar in shape, but they are not so tight and restrictive as these ones are around the top. I think I would wear it. Maybe I need to make a top in a kind of fabric that I would actually wear and see what I think of it. I've shown Mum and Dad. They're not huge fans of this. Mum's not a huge fan of ruffles and like extra frills and things like that, and I'm not usually either, but I do kind of like this. I think the ruffle at the back might be a bit more successful because it's a bit fuller than the ruffle at the front, and the ruffle at the back is the one that I drafted myself. I kind of think it looks like the Zimmerman dress This is another thing. I would love to have been able to try on a Zimmerman dress and see if I like that style, because I mean at the moment I don't have that option because nowhere on the island sells Zimmerman dresses, and you know, going shopping in central London is not really an option at the moment. It would have been nice to sort of try this different kind of style on first and see what I think. I'm glad I've tried it. I do think it kind of looks like the Zimmerman dress. I think I needed to add a little bit more fullness to the skirt, and I think that the fabric they use is a lot finer, so that the gathers, whilst there's more fabric and more gathers in there, it doesn't look as, it wouldn't, if I'd done it with this one it might look a bit bulky. I'm not going to continue with this dress. I'm not going to finish it. There is a lot of finishing left to do. I need to finish the neckline in here, that's still raw. I need to, as I say, overlock all of these edges. I need to hem the cotton lawn layer underneath, and I need to put the elastic in at the wrists on this one. So there's a lot of work left to do on this dress, and I don't like it enough that I'm willing to put in that work. So this is going to end up as poof or dog bed stuffing. I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I tried it. I also have finished the Evelyn blouse in this fabric, which I will try on now and show you guys. Okay, so here is my Evelyn blouse in the same fabric. I am really happy with this one. I have put the elastic in at the waistband, and it works really well for keeping it corralled around the waistline without having to kind of like try and artfully make it look like this, which I always struggle to do. I haven't put a button loop on at the back because I did make my own bias binding out of this fabric, which again was an absolute nightmare. This stuff does not want to press, so that was a pain. I do really like this as in the shape. I'm not going to keep this one either. This one just needs, untuck it for you guys. So yeah, this one just needs hemming and the button loop on the back, but I'm not going to finish this one either because again, I'm never going to wear this. I can already feel that this fabric's making my skin crawl. It's yeah. I'm not buying polyester anymore. I do like the Evelyn blouse, and I do feel confident enough in this top and the mods that I've made to it to cut out that really expensive black silk that I showed you guys the other day. So it's not been a waste of time doing these two things out of this fabric, because they could have been utter fails in that I hated the way they looked, and I kind of like the way that both of them look. But yeah, if this fabric was like a silk or a natural fibre, it would be a very different story, because this print is beautiful. It's a really, really pretty print. I do like the print a lot, but oh no. It's already making my skin crawl having had it on. I'm definitely going to make this one again. I'm not sure about the 7977. I might make it as a top. I'm not sure. I don't know. It'll be interesting to hear what you guys think. It's totally fine if you don't like it, but please be kind. Yeah, please be kind in the comments. It's totally fine if you don't like it. Just constructive criticism, I think, is the way forward. So as you can see, I still have a giant pile of stuff next to me here. This is all viscose and cotton lawn, which I'm much more excited about. I'm not sure what I'm going to make next. I'm thinking maybe I'll start on the 6563 top, because that should be fairly simple. Just lots of fiddly finishing on this because it's viscose, so it just wants to run around and not behave itself. But yeah, that should be a fairly quick make, that one. And then onto the shirt and shirt dress, both of which need the interfacing cutting out still. So yeah, I'm going to work on the black 6563 next. That's the plan. I'm going to get out of this as well.
One eternity later.
It's absolutely peeing it down outside. So slight change of plans. I don't have any black thread at all, so I'm going to order some of that tomorrow. But in the meantime, I have very little white thread either, so I worked on this Gertie shirt, which is the 5895, I think. This is the size 12 with 1 3/4 inches added to the length. The buttonholes are really far in. I think if I did these again, they're nearly an inch in. I think, yeah, next time I'm going to move them slightly over. Other than that weirdness, I really like this. It's the right length for me now. Like I said, I've added 1 1/4, no, 1 3/4 of length to the torso of this. The previous ones were way too high, and this would be how I would want to wear it with my high-waisted skirts like this. I really like it. As I say, this is the leftover cotton lawn, the amaryllis print from Lady McElroy that Alex and Hedge Hubby got me for my birthday last year, and I've made an 8577 out of it, and then I had enough left to cut out this top as well, so I'm really pleased with it. This is definitely going to be more of these, I think. It's a really kind of easy top to make. The grown-on sleeves, they are a little restrictive. I suppose I could always just take those off and make this like a sleeveless top, but I kind of like the silhouette that the little grown-on sleeves give. And this will be really easy to wear under my cardigans and things because of the collar. I like how the collar goes together at the back as well. I think it kind of laps over. Bit of a fiddly construction, given that I want to French seam everything as well. I've done it, but it is a little bit fiddly. I really like this. I can see many more of these in my future. That's a nice end to the day. Probably going to start work on the 9345 Vogue shirt dress because I think it's like 8 o'clock, maybe 7:30. I'm pleased that I've got something made out of all the things that I've cut out that I actually really like, because yeah, oh, that fabric. No, that fabric. I haven't watched back the footage that I filmed of that dress yet. I'm gonna be interested to see what it looks like on camera, because I sometimes see things in real life and then see them on camera and prefer them on camera. So I'm going to be interested to see what it looks like, but I'm not going to finish that dress, as I've mentioned, because I'm never going to wear it. The fabric is just so polyestery. I mean, it's not a surprise, it's a polyester fabric. When I put it on, it just didn't feel nice. So natural fibres for me. I'm not going to buy any more polyester. I said that earlier. I mean, I still have quite a lot of polyester in my stash, and I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to sew it up. I just need to be a bit more thoughtful about the things that I make with it. For example, skirts, because I tend to wear slips. I have a slip on underneath this. I think you can just see a little black bit there. So I do tend to wear slips and things like that. So, you know, a polyester skirt is probably a better bet for me than shirts and tops out of it, just because it won't be touching my skin, so it won't be something that irritates me. That's the plan anyway. But yeah, I'm pleased with this. I'm glad I didn't add 2 inches. I think that's 1 3/4 inches has been the perfect amount. Expect to see many more of these shirts coming your way, because it was quick make, fun, and really kind of fits in with the sort of thing that I like to wear. So yay, finished a really nice summery shirt, and it's absolutely freezing and peeing down with rain outside. Just about right, hey. It's much later on. I think it's about 11 o'clock at night, but I have the fully lined bodice of the Vogue 93545 done. I really do like this kind of collar. I have decided it is my favourite, especially with that shirt that I finished earlier. So I've done the sleeves the same way I always do sleeves, or sorry, armholes in a sleeveless bodice. Sew up the front, sew up the armholes, trim those, turn them through, then sew the side seams, so that I don't have to use bias binding on these. This dress would have been really cool with the giant sleeves that it comes with, but I just didn't have enough fabric for it, and this fabric will look great as a sleeveless dress. So I have the skirt pieces over there. I have fully lined the skirt as well, because this particular lawn, as you can see, is really sheer. So I've lined the skirt as well with just some white cotton lawn, and I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Still trying to decide if I'm going to do, it's the other way around, isn't it? There we go, yes, that's better. Still trying to decide if I'm going to do green or white buttonholes, and what kind of buttons I'm going to do as well. But I am going to call it a night for now, because it is late. So yeah, it's been a productive day. I've also made 2 little scrunchies to go with the shirt with the amaryllis fabric. I'm thinking that I'm going to keep one of each, and then maybe put one up in the shop. I don't know, but we'll see. But as I think I mentioned, I bought 100 of the hair ties, so whilst these aren't exactly the size of scrunchie that I wanted, I'm going to keep making them because I have all of the hair ties, and I bought blonde ones so that they wouldn't show up through fabrics like this. So they don't work in my hair colour by themselves. So yeah, I'm going to just, you know, every time I cut out a project, cutting out, you know, a pair of these is very easy to do, and they're very easy to make. Apparently this is comfortable. I put it on my shins so I could get my camera and leads out of there because she was on my lap and she immediately has crawled into it.